used to think peace and productivity couldn't coexist in a 9 to 5 job. I thought if I slowed down enough to feel anything, everything in my life would fall apart. My performance would slip, my value would disappear. So I kept going, kept pretending I was fine. But what I didn't realize is that I was already burned out. And in this video, I'm sharing the 3 lessons that helped me have this beautiful peace and fulfillment in my 9 to 5 job without sacrificing my productivity, performance, or efficiency. For the longest time, I believed that feeling good at work meant I needed to change something external, a new role, a different company, maybe even a complete career shift. I spent years climbing, achieving, and checking boxes. And from the outside, it looked like I had it all together. But inside, I was running on empty. There was this constant hum of tiredness and frustration under everything I did. I would wake up already tired. I'll sit in meetings feeling like I was watching my life happen to someone else. And the worst part? I thought that feeling was just the price of my success. I'm sure you know that feeling where you are good at your work, people depend on you, your performance reviews are solid, but when you close your laptop at the end of the day, there is this emptiness you can't quite name, like you are living someone else's life. Hi, I'm Shweta Mehta, also known as Jovheel, and I used to think peace and productivity couldn't coexist in a 9 to 5 job. I thought if I slowed down enough to feel anything, everything in my life would fall apart. My performance would slip, my value would disappear. So I kept going, kept producing, kept pretending I was fine. But what I didn't realize is that I wasn't avoiding burnout. I was already burnt out. I just had not stopped long enough to notice. And in this video, I'm sharing the 3 lessons that helped me have this beautiful peace and fulfillment in my 9 to 5 job without sacrificing my productivity, performance, or efficiency. In fact, after having this peace, people used to wonder and ask how you do that, how you do things so effortlessly, and how you stay balanced all the time. And bonus is it helped me improve my health as well as relationships as well. So if you are someone who's tired of feeling disconnected from your own life, if you are exhausted from performing a version of yourself that doesn't feel real anymore, stay with me. Everything I'm sharing today is what I teach inside my Inner Mastery Lounge, my membership for women who are ready to turn healing into their greatest source of strength. The link is in description. Also, I help women like you to release old blueprint that's impacting your career, well-being, and relationships, and help you operate from your powerful blueprint in my one-on-one private mentorship as well. Listen to these lessons, okay? If possible, keep a pen as well as notebook with you, especially the third one, okay? Because it's time for you to stop managing and start living your life. Lesson 1. My emotions are my power. I used to think emotions were inconvenient. They slowed me down. They made me messy. So I learned to push them aside. And I used to get back to work even when I was frustrated. So frustration, push it down. Sadness, not now. I don't have time. Resentment, just keep pretending and keep smiling. And for a while that worked. I was productive, I was reliable, I was the person everyone could count on. But here's what nobody tells us, especially about ignoring your emotions. They don't disappear, they don't evaporate, they build. They sit in your body like sediment. They show up as tiredness you can't sleep off, as frustration in every work you do. But the thing is, you can't explain this frustration that why you are because even you don't know. Okay, it will show up as this low grade anxiety that sits in your chest even when nothing is technically wrong. In my case, extreme vertigo, migraine, digestion issues, anxiousness came up on the surface. Does that sound familiar? That feeling where you are fine, everything is fine, but also nothing feels fine. I remember sitting at my desk one afternoon, staring at my screen and realizing that I couldn't remember the last time I actually felt anything at work. Not excitement, not curiosity, not even anger, just nothing. And that numbness scared me more than anything else. Why? Because when you stop feeling, you stop knowing what you need. You stop hearing the whisper that tells you that something is off. You become a stranger to your own being. That's when I started to understand something, that I wasn't protecting myself by shutting down my feelings. I was disconnecting from that part of me that knew what I actually needed. So I made a choice. I started letting myself feel, not in big dramatic ways, just small moments, noticing like when I felt tense in a meeting, acknowledging when something didn't sit right with me, letting myself to be disappointed when things didn't go the way I hoped, and letting go of control when things were not in my control. Just staying away from gossip and focusing on the internal dialogue instead. The more I let myself feel, the less overwhelmed I became. Because, let me tell you the reason, because I wasn't carrying around all these unprocessed emotions anymore. I was moving through it. And that gave me so much space. So much space to breathe, space to think, space to be human. So, if you are someone who's been holding it all together for so long that you have forgotten what letting go feels like, I see you. Okay? I see you, I hear you, and I feel you because I was there. And inside the Inner Mastery Lounge, we have an entire pathway dedicated to emotional processing, learning how to feel without falling apart, how to move through emotion instead of storing them. And most important, how to trust yourself again. So link is in description. Okay, so lesson 2. I wasn't tired because I worked too hard. I was tired because I wasn't aligned. So I used to believe if I'm exhausted, I needed rest. If rest didn't help, I needed a vacation. If a vacation doesn't help, I probably just needed to quit my job. But the tiredness I was feeling wasn't about hours worked or tasks completed. It was deeper than that. I was tired because I was living out of alignment. I was saying yes when everything in my body screamed no. I was performing a version of myself that I thought people needed. Instead of showing up as who I actually was, I was just pretending. I was pouring energy into things that didn't matter to me. And I was ignoring the parts of my life that actually needed that energy. And believe me, no amount of rest can fix that kind of tiredness. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, don't you? That tiredness that lives in your bones, where you can sleep for 10 hours and still wake up depleted, where weekends aren't enough, where you are constantly running on fumes, wondering why everyone else seems to handle it better than you. See, it's not because you are weak. It's not because you are not cut out for this. It's because you're living a life that doesn't belong to you. So I started asking myself different questions. Where am I pretending? And I want you to ask these questions to yourself as well. Where am I pretending? Where I am saying yes when I want to say no? What parts of me I was hiding to keep the peace in my work or home environment? And the answers were uncomfortable because I realized I had built a life that looked successful but didn't feel like mine. Mm-mm. So the shift didn't happen overnight, but I started making small, small changes. Like I stopped over explaining myself in meeting. I set boundaries around my time without apologizing. If I have to go at 6, I have to go at 6. I let myself care about the things I actually cared about, even if they didn't fit the image of who I thought I needed to be. I gave quality time to my work, complete focus to my work when I was working. I didn't spend time in anything else. And slowly, I started to feel like myself again, not because I changed my job, but because I stopped abandoning myself to keep it. And lesson three, as I told you, this is the most important one. I stopped adjusting to what broke me and started creating what healed me. So, for years, whenever I struggled, people around me, especially women, said, it's normal. Everyone goes through this. You just have to adjust. And this is how it is. So get used to it. So I adjusted. I adjusted to the tiredness. I adjusted to feeling empty. I adjusted to the life that didn't feel like mine. But here's what happens when you keep adjusting, you stop asking if you should. I hope you're getting what I'm saying here. You stop questioning whether this is actually okay. You stop listening to the part of you that knows something is wrong. You just accept it. You call it being realistic, being mature, being responsible. And without realizing it, you give up on the idea that your life could feel different. I remember sitting in that burnout completely numb, and my own loved ones came and told me, just adjust. You will get used to it. And that day I decided, no, I don't want to get used to this. I don't want to adjust. I don't want to spend my life tolerating this pain. Why am I bending myself into shape that doesn't fit me? Why am I trying to make myself smaller just to fit into something that was never built for me or for who I am? That's when I decided I will never tell someone to adjust to what's hurting them. That's when I decided that I'll help people heal because I healed. That's when I decided I will never look at a younger woman who is struggling and say, that's just how it is. I'll never say this to any woman that adjust because that's the biggest lie. Because healing is real. Creating a life that actually fits you is possible. Your relationship, your career, your health, you have more power over these than you think. And remember, not by forcing, not by pretending, but by learning to heal instead of just adjust. You have an option to just be in that comfortable, suffering of drama and adjust. But you do have option of healing too, right? By learning to regulate instead of just surviving. Will challenges still come? Yes, of course. Will problems still show up? Absolutely. But there is a massive difference between facing hard things from a place of strength and just enduring pain because you think you have no choice. There's a difference between growing through difficulty and adjusting to mess. There's a difference between healing and just surviving. And once you stop adjusting to what's breaking you and start asking, what do I actually want? That's when you start your healing. That's when you start building your own life on your own terms. And why I say this very confidently, because I have done it. And once you realize you can create something different, you can't pretend you can't. If you have been told to just adjust in your life, to just push through, to just deal with it, listen to me. You don't have to. It's a big lie. You don't have to shrink to fit spaces that weren't meant for you. You don't have to accept pain as normal. You don't have to keep bending until you break. You can heal. You can regulate. You can build a life that doesn't require you to abandon yourself to keep it. And that's the work I do in my one on one mentorship. Every client has said the same thing. The kind of calmness they feel, they have never felt before. Because we heal what's keeping you stuck. Regulate your nervous system so you are not just surviving, and build the clarity to design a life that actually is yours. And if that's calling you, link is in the description. But Your healing starts today. Just decide I'm done. Okay? And you can book a complimentary discovery call with me. Link is in description. Let's talk. And if this video resonated with you, if you felt seen in these words, drop a comment and let me know what you are learning about your own emotions or which of these practices you are going to try first. Okay? Tell me what's shifting for you. And I read every single comment. Okay? And your sharing helps other women know that they are not alone either. And if you're ready to turn this healing into your greatest source of strength and clarity, as I mentioned before, I have two ways you can work with me. Number one is the Inner Mastery Lounge. It's my membership for women who want a structured path for emotional freedom. We meet live or with recorded sessions once a month for coaching as well as healing sessions. And you will have access to my library where we have deep root level healings and many more stuff. But more than that, you will have this beautiful community of women who are designing their own life, women who are ready to build something real. The link is in description. And my Balance Mastery, my one-on-one private mentorship is for women who know they need personalized support to navigate their specific blocks, patterns, and blueprint. Who knows that they can't wait anymore? Because this is deep transformation work where we meet regularly to release everything that is no longer serving you and build a life that you desire. Every detail is in description. So just book a free discovery call with me. Let's talk. And thank you for being here. And remember, peace isn't something you find when everything finally falls into place. It's something you build by learning how to stay with yourself even when things feels messy. And yes, you can do that in your 9 to 5 job. I have done it, so I can confidently say that anyone can do it. So, I'll see you in the next one.